So Israel has 99 problems, but a beach ain't one. I'm in Jaffa, and it's the 30th of June 2025. So let's talk about one of these problems Israel has. And pretty high up on that list of problems is Gaza. So Gaza has been the source of a lot of these anti-Israel Western Arab accusations of genocide. So there's 2 million people in Gaza. It's been a war zone for 2 years. A lot of the buildings have been demolished. It's not a nice place to be, that's for sure. But the accusations have been that Israel's committing genocide, that it's in the process of killing 2 million Gaza Arab residents, and this is like a 21st century Holocaust. And I mean, it's a laughable claim, right? Israel has the military capability to wipe out the 2 million people in a day if it wanted to, and it doesn't want to, because unlike Western critics accuse it of not being, it is actually a army that tries to be ethical and doesn't just wipe out 2 million people for no reason. But what happens to those 2 million people is a question that does need to be answered and resolved. I don't really understand why it's taken so long. There were problems between like Netanyahu and Biden, Israelis and the Americans before Trump, which may have slowed down a quicker resolution in Gaza. But the obvious answer to this is that any Gazan that wants to leave should be allowed to leave as quickly as is possible from an administrative and from a risk assessment perspective. Trump's put forward a proposal early on at the start of his second term, where he said, well, Gaza could be like owned and run by the Americans. I don't see why this is necessary, right? Like Israel is very tiny. I don't know why it needs to be American land rather than Israeli land, but whatever. The important thing is that the people that want to leave are allowed to leave, and this isn't widely known or widely understood in the Western media. But the reason why Gazans aren't leaving is because there's walls and barbed wire that the Egyptians have installed, have constructed. So Gazans haven't been able to leave because the Egyptians won't let them leave. There's a Sinai desert like between like mainland Egypt and Gaza, and the only reason there aren't people fleeing through there is because of Egypt. So why Israel is accused of genocide and entrapping 2 million people in a war zone for 2 years is farcical, because it's not their responsibility. Israel would happily allow as many Gazans as they want to flow out into the Sinai. So the easiest solution would just be either through convincing the Egyptians or through military means to like destroy that barbed wire fence and let the Gazans leave through there. Now, if that's too controversial and the Egyptians aren't happy with that, then there needs to be some kind of scheme like the British were looking at during Rishi Sunak's premiership, where they were looking at sending illegal immigrants to Rwanda, and they paid huge amounts of money, like billions of dollars, to effectively set up this scheme where illegal immigrants would be flown out to Rwanda at the taxpayer expense. and no illegal immigrants did actually leave, despite all these billions of dollars spent, because Sunak was replaced, and there's a Labour government now that has just written that off as a sunk cost. But it's not rocket science to, either via land or via air, allow people to escape a war zone and a place that isn't going to be rebuilt for a number of years. So, I mean, it seems such a basic solution, and it's bizarre that more progress isn't being made on this. Again, I assume it's not on the Israeli side. I assume it's on the Western Arab side, where they want to use Gaza as a way of demonizing Israel and Israelis. You trap 2 million people there, and then when bad things happen, because they're going to happen, it's a war zone. You blame the Israeli army. You say Israel is acting, if not unethically, then evilly. So that's what I assume, but it's just bizarre. Now, from an ethical perspective, I hope they can get out of there. I hope that as many people who want to leave Gaza, can actually leave, and then there can be the slow rebuilding process of Gaza in the coming years, similar to Trump's plan. I mean, Trump's his bread and butter is real estate, right? Real estate development. So I certainly don't have any better ideas than Trump and his family on real estate. But in terms of getting the people out of there, I don't understand what's the problem. So yeah, I will wrap up there, I think. That is one problem of 99. Maybe I'll try and explore some of the others in other videos. But get the Gazans out of there, get them out of harm's way. Ditch these stupid conspiracies that Israel is committing genocide over a 2-year period when it could complete the genocide within an hour. And then hopefully some of those problems go away, and then it can move on to the real estate development that I know nothing about, and Trump and Trump's family know more about. But certainly possible that, let's say, I don't know, in a decade, that Gaza could be looking like this. That's the shoreline of Tel Aviv, and there's no reason why Gaza can't be as attractive a destination as Tel Aviv.